You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, on Alternative Talk, AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage and finance expert, Tina Mitchell.
Welcome back to The Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here at 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, April 1st show. I am dedicated to my listeners, providing you with the tools needed to make informed decisions on matters that affect everything regarding your money. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but you can always call the show at 1-855-400-1150 or go online at themoneyhour.com to ask any questions or get connected with the guests that I have in studio today. Right now, I'm going to have a conversation with Joe Kiser and Jason Fox with John L. Scott. How to do real estate business in a supercharged seller's market. Thanks, you guys, for joining me in studio for the first time.
Thanks, Tina, for having us.
And a little bit about Joe and Jason. Joe and Jason work together as a team at John L. Scott Real Estate. They specialize in residential real estate in the Puget Sound area. Joe has been a licensed real estate producer for many years and a perennial John L. Scott Production Award winner. He was born and raised in the Edmonds area and loves to ride Harleys. Jason has over 10 years experience with real estate marketing and pulls out all the stops when marketing a home. He was born and raised in Everett and loves spending time with his 3 children. And again, our topic for our show today is how to do real estate business in a supercharged seller's market. And man, what a supercharged seller's market that we're in. Yep. So Jason, what makes this market a surging seller's market?
Yeah, well, the first thing we want to look at, or I would look at, is kind of doing an eye test. So if you're anything like me, you probably are watching your neighborhood and you're kind of looking for sale signs, and you're kind of watching to see how often they go up and how quickly they come down. And you might have noticed that recently probably fewer for sale signs are going up, but when they do go up, they come down a lot faster. Mm-hmm. But beyond the eye test is the actual data. And what the data tells us, right now we have approximately a 0.7 month supply of inventory.
Crazy.
It is crazy. And the reason why, and what that means is that if nobody were to list their home over the next, say, 2 weeks, we'd run out of homes to sell.
Yeah.
And the norm or the neutral point is approximately 6 months. So they say anything under 6 months is a seller's market. So as you can tell, 0.7 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I just heard that in King County, single family condos or single family homes and condos combined together were about 1,800. And just what you said in months left, that is less of 8,000 to 10,000 properties. So it's huge. So Joe, to you, does this mean that buyers in this market are out of luck?
It would sound so. Listen to those statistics for sure. But no, absolutely not. Really what it means, it's actually a great time to buy, ironically. We're kind of in the situation where it's a perfect storm. First of all, we still have significantly low interest rates. So, money's still really affordable. But in addition to that, the media is really shine a light on how competitive it is out there. And buyers are just plain beat up and tired.
Yeah.
They've been working with agents that maybe don't know how to navigate in this type of a market. And so they're tired of throwing money at pre-inspections. They're tired of having their offers not even looked at or not knowing what happened. So they're getting out of the market a little bit and getting out of the way for people that are buyer ready day one, that are ready to have an agent that knows how to navigate through it. In addition to that, we also have, a seasonal thing right now. As spring comes, people start to get ready to sell their home. We're starting to see inventory tick up a little bit. And any move is really significant with what we've been facing the last couple of years, really. So, all the excitement, the buzz is in the air. And also, when you have the media talking about this seller frenzy and there's not enough inventory, buyers that weren't going to sell maybe for 2-3 years are all of a sudden seeing the need to sell right now too. So in addition to spring coming and the natural tick up of inventory, we're going to also have a influx of homes of people that maybe weren't going to sell for a year or two that really want to capitalize on that. So that's going to make it a lot better for buyers getting in the market today.
Yeah, and I love how you say navigate through the process, and that's why it's so important to work with seasoned agents that understand how to navigate in the process, and that's the whole reason for the show and why I have guests like you guys in studio. So Jason, part of the navigating through the process, I would imagine, is really being able to have the activities that you need to do to prepare and get ready. So for my buyers listening to the show, what advice would you have for them, Jason?
Right. So, what you want to do is just hop in your car and kind of drive until you see a for sale sign. No, not really. So what we're going to suggest is find
that sounded good.
We're going to suggest you find an eligible agent like you pointed out. And we have a phrase we use, buyer ready day one. And what does that mean? The first thing is you got to be ready to move quickly. And when we say that, we don't mean making a hasty decision buying a home. But when you do get out there and you find a home that you love and you say, okay, I want to buy this house, everything's going to happen real fast right now because we are in this market. And so it's really important to be mortgage ready day one, Tina, which I'm sure you can speak on. But it's also really important to kind of understand the buying trends and what's going on in the market today. In addition, having a buying strategy. So, sitting down with your agent and understanding things like location, condition, and price, and what that means with your buying power. And also putting together a wants and needs analysis. So oftentimes there's a lot of things we want in a home.
Yes.
And we kind of go out and look and we realize that there's some things we absolutely need.
So it sounds like the preparation is key, being ready day one. It's stepping back and getting everything prepared up front. Understand, like you said, knowing what your needs are, what you're willing to give up, where the maximum that you're willing to go in these multiple offer scenarios. And if you can do that, you're ready to go. And all you do is you're just running with your best foot forward. If it doesn't work out, you don't quit the fight. You just keep on fighting. Yeah. So, Joe, I know lending is a big part of it, being that that's what I do. And your lending partner is a huge part of it. What do you tell your buyers that they need to be asking from their lender to be able to be ready in this market?
Well, that's a great question, Tina, because and one that should probably be pointed towards you. But when I get started with a buyer, I from the very beginning, it's to let them know that the lender is one of the most important keys to this whole process, and that they need to be mortgage ready day one, that they need to understand that there is a difference between going online and getting a pre-approval letter and actually being underwritten or even approved, and so that stuff needs to be, but they need to be a working part of the whole transaction. So they need to be able to be available. One of the things that I do when I'm in a multiple offer situation, I kind of already understand the financing, but once we've submitted that offer, the lender, it's nice when the lender can go ahead and take some due diligence and give a call and verify the strength of the financing. It takes one less thing that the seller's agent needs to do, because it happens all too often where somebody has this pre-approval, they go out, they fall in love, they get their offer accepted, to find out that the lender didn't do the due diligence and the deal falls through. And so just a working part of the team from the very beginning. And so I will speak on this since you gave permission for me to do so. And this is what I do. It's crucial. Timing is important as well. Make sure that your lender is able to close in a 30-day closing or less. What does that mean? Have a guarantee on your closing, which I do. Financial backing to ensure the loan closes on time. Also, you mentioned on the financing, statistics show last time that I saw 30% of mortgages fall out because of the financing. So they are actually pre-approved and then the mortgage falls apart. So having some type of financial commitment, which by the way, I have $5,000, to guarantee that the seller, the financing is not going to fall through because of something that the buyer did. If they lose their job, they lose their job. They're not going to get a loan, but there should be a financial backing on that. So it's critical. And then being accessible. When are they accessible? You've got to be available to make those calls to the listing agent on the weekend or the evening as soon as that offer is getting submitted and say, hey, I've got a great buyer. You can rest assured we're going to get the job done on time. And I think somebody having local is important as well. They're building that relationship. And go to your realtor and find out who they're using, because I guarantee you the lending partner that they're introducing you to, they are a part of their team. And it's critical for them to have those power partners together to make sure the process goes well. So trust them. You're hiring your agent for their expertise, which is part of who do you need to work in the process to pull that team together. So Jason, what are buyers asking their agent? Or Joe. Yeah. I'll throw this one at you, Joe. All right, I'll go ahead and take that one. That sounds good. Well, hopefully they're asking a lot of their agent right now. The day of being having a day job and being a part-time agent, it should be gone, because as you can see, there's a lot of variables that come together. So really, what if I had to boil it down, it would be a local expert, someone that understands the market and the area in which your family's trying to move to. Be a good negotiator, and there's a lot that goes into that. People think if I'm approved for way more, it comes a lot more than just the highest amount. You need to start communication. When I'm getting ready to submit an offer, there's a lot of phone calls I make. It's starting by talking to what's enticing to the seller. I need to know from the seller agent, so they know that they have someone that can also work through the process. Take strong communication, have a strong market knowledge, and just, again, a full-time commitment to their clients and not overcommitted, I say for real estate agent, it's experience, expertise, and reputation. That's going to make or break that process for you. Joe, in a multiple offer situation, how are you helping your buyers navigate through that? Well, first of all, you've got to know the contingencies and the power that they hold for negotiating. You got to start with letting the clients know that this is normal, everyday business.
Yes.
This is what we see in every offer, so to not be scared about it. Understand what the needs and what the capabilities of your sellers are so that you put them in a situation that's optimal, not overcommitting them. But just preparing them is the biggest thing, and understanding, the powers you have with different contingencies and being able to explain what escalations are, things like that. Just a big, really just being available to make sure that they understand the process that they're in and try to remove the fear. Let them know that that's why you're here.
And I love that, Joe, because a lot of buyers, they don't do this every day. So they have really no idea what it is getting in the market and letting them know, this is normal. This is a normal market. And here's the benefits that you're going to be receiving from getting into this normal, crazy market.
Right.
So, Jason, what does this market mean for all of my listeners that are thinking, maybe I should sell?
Yeah, in a nutshell, it's the best time to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to sound like the stereotypical salesperson that's like, oh, now's the best time. But as all the data that we've shared and the fact that today literally is April 1st, which is, according to Zillow, the very best time to list your home, this could be quite possibly the hottest sellers market we've ever seen.
I agree.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, when selling your house, I think there's two things that people are kind of concerned with. They want to get the most amount of money and they want to do it in the quickest amount of time.
Yes.
And this market is going to afford both of those.
Exactly.
So
the other key thing, too, is most sellers are looking at moving up and buying another home. Majority of them are. And being that, Joe, you mentioned this, we always have a market that's short money, short sellers, or short buyers. We're short sellers right now. We have tons of money, low cost to get into a mortgage. So what's going to happen, Mr. Seller, if you're thinking of selling your home when the interest rates go up to 6, 7, 8%, which they will, it's going to be a whole another dynamic. You're not going to be able to, or it's going to be a lot harder. So now is the time. Joe, what do you mean by contingencies? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh, yeah. The short of it, a contingency usually is used as a protection when a buyer's putting forth an offer. It's kind of a fail-safe that they have. After the offer's accepted, they get to actually do some due diligence to make sure it's really what they want. Now, in this market, it actually provides a little peace of mind to the sellers because instead of using it as necessarily a protection, it's often used now as a negotiation piece. People are waiving certain contingencies, or like for example, if they might be waiving their inspection contingency, or in the event of a short appraisal, they're bringing cash to the table, so they're waiving their financing. So it's really something that could be a double-edged sword right now.
Yeah, and you said it earlier. It's just knowing what those contingencies are, what you're willing to give up to get that home. Jason, how do you get a listing maximum exposure?
Yeah, so as we kind of talked about in the bios, my background is real estate marketing. So I've been helping real estate agents.
I've known you through years through all of your expertise in that arena.
Right, exactly. So that's kind of what I'm bringing to the table. But what we like to do that's kind of unique is our listing launch. And basically, we're going to make a big deal out of your home. I mean, and we should, because it is a big deal and it's a big event for everybody. But in a nutshell, we're going to kind of talk about, or we're going to do some staging if it's necessary. We're going to hire professional photographers to do HD photos and 3D virtual scans for all of our listing. Open houses Saturday and Sunday. We're going to include the neighbors. So we're going to canvass the neighborhood because, what statistics show us 76% of people that move into a neighborhood were referred by a neighbor or a family member. Right. So that's a good referral source. We're going to blast it out with postcards, email, social media. And we're even going to build your listing or your home a website.
Nice.
So we got a unique marketing plan for each listing.
And I think it's important because a lot of sellers may think it's, spending that extra energy, expertise, and time and how you market for the maximum exposure really isn't important because there's tons of buyers and we're going to have people just knocking at our door to get the house. The real truth is it's all about what you said early. It's maximizing the profit. So you want to bring in as many buyers as you possibly can that are going to bid that home up, ultimately getting you the highest profit. So best time to sell, we talked about it. Right now. Zillow says statistics right now, interest rates are low, rates are going to go up. You can get into a new home, take advantage of these great rates, get the top dollar for your house, get multiple offers. Just a great time for a seller and great time for you guys buyers out there as well. You just can't give up. You got to get out there, fight the fight, take advantage of the cost of money low where it's at right now before it increases. Thank you guys so much. It was an awesome conversation with you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tina.
Thanks,
Look
Tina.
forward to having you back.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Coming up next. next on the Money Hour. Learn the benefits of having an independent insurance agent. Mason Mackey with Pacific Northwest Insurance, right here at 11:50 after this short break.